with consideration to keeping us on track and then honoring our next speaker, I'd like to bring up Chris J to share his journey. He has a very inspirational story related to his journey with VHL, but we also want to just let everyone know that you'll have an opportunity to speak with him later because we want to modify the schedule to keep the presentations on track. So Chris J, if you could come to the front.
All right.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone from Australia. Wow, you know that yesterday's dinner was the first time I actually saw another person with VHL. So it's amazing to be here, guys. Incredible. I'm 49. I'm a typical VHL patient that's had lots of these adversities. But what's interesting with my challenges, and my presentation was timed to be a certain time, but I've got to keep it short, is my VHL adversities have shaped my life in such a big way. Like, not just in a negative way, which 13 years of my life was disempowered, victim of VHL. I lived like a victim. And now 17 years of my life have been an empowered individual because of these adversities. Every time I was shattered, broken, you know how it is, you know? Sometimes it's hard to deal with this. And you know, I've been broken spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and building myself up from that. Thank God for my wife. Wifey, shout out. Anyway, you know, every time I get back from there, I'm shocked how resilient I am, but I'm also shocked at how much I could spring up and continue in my life. And so I'll be sharing some of these lessons that I've learned from these adversities. They've transformed my life because I have now employed thousands of people. I run a large company. I live my dream life. I'm a contributing member of my society, and I'm about to launch a book. And that's actually getting launched here in America. I wasn't expecting it because I said, I want to speak to American business people. I want to know what it's like to start a business here. But then when I rocked up here, I had a headache for 4 days. And that's how I got to know you guys. I didn't even know you guys existed. And then I called V, and then V's trying to arrange an MRI, and here I am. Anyway, it's amazing. So let me start the presentation. So I'll be talking about these 5 life lessons, I call them. Do I press these arrows this way, that way? It's working, okay. These are the life lessons I'll be sharing. You know, live up to your full potential. It's easy to just say that. But with VHL, to have VHL and to live up to our full potential, man, wow. The message of, like, live as if it's your last day alive gave me anxiety. So I changed that to live as if it's my last year alive every year. And since I've been doing this for quite a long time, I am able to live my life deliberately. So living my life every year, per year, has been an incredible thing in getting grounded in what's truly important to squeeze, because our biggest valuable asset is our time here, our vitality while we're here. And I want to optimize it. Achieve deep satisfaction in life. I mean, that's all we all want, whether we have VHL or not. and so I've been able to achieve through VHL and these adversities an incredible life satisfaction. And I'm proud of that. And I can't wait to share it for you, and how to achieve such things for yourselves. Flourish through adversity. I have 4 things that actually I use right now. Growing, I've got a half a remaining kidney, 3 lesions growing nicely, and all the rest. So I'm always using this knowledge that I'm sharing. They're not just theories. And of course, forming new thinking patterns was created from 8 months of rehabilitation to learn how to walk and talk. Hey, no, I'm not a walker anymore. Anyway, and these lessons, you go through these experiences, they transform us. It's incredible. And the lessons from these, wow, we can change our mind. Am I changing this? Okay, there we go. No, wrong way. My diagnosis. Well, we all got a story about diagnosis. Who's recently diagnosed? I'm curious. Yeah, I think you guys were, right? Is there anybody else?
How recent? Yeah.
Last 5 years. Wow, there we go. Wow. So I was diagnosed in 1992. I was 19, and they said, Chris, let me be Australian for a minute. Mate, no. and they said, Chris, you've got this condition called VHL. It's got a life expectancy of 30. I'm 19. It's likely going to be a short life for you. Hope you're all right with that. You've probably got cysts and tumors all over your body right now. You don't even know it. Some are cancerous. All the best. No, I wasn't given any information. I wasn't given any support. I was just left shocked. I was stunned. What do you do at the age of 19 when you've been dealt that blow? So what I did was like what any other 19-year-old would do. I ignored it. Naturally. I thought if I can ignore it properly, then maybe it's bullshit. Excuse my French, sorry. Unfortunately, it was very real. And there was something else that happened in my life from 19 till my first brain operation. A 5-centimeter angioma thing. Anyway, disempowering beliefs, disempowering qualities in my life were everywhere. These were things I experienced for 13 years because of running away from my VHL. I was running away from it. And that I didn't realize I was running away from everything else in my life. Man. Am I changing this the right? I'm not going to get this direction right. Okay, so I was tired of being a victim, 13 years of that, and a brain operation, a 5-centimeter tumor, finally came at 32. And it was my wake-up call. Yeah, I got it. I can't ignore it anymore. I can't deny it. I really do have it. And wow, what a transformation. Because waking up to my mortality made me realize for the first time, man, I don't have time to be down and out anymore. I don't have time to entertain any of this stuff. And if I realized these limiting beliefs and stuff about me all the time, that if I don't start living the life of my dreams, I may never get a chance to. That transformed me. Like that moment. And so from that moment onwards, I decided, I looked at the sky and I said, God, kill me if you want, I've had enough. But I choose life. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to go after my dreams. I'm going to go live a life that's an empowered individual. I'm going to believe in me. And the moment I started doing that was the shocking moment, because I was shocked at how much I was limiting myself. I never saw that before until I decided to become an empowered individual, to stop entertaining those disempowering beliefs. Wow. So one of the first experiences was funny. I've got to share at least one story, even though I've got to tone it down. I had my brain operation, so they just removed the stitches. I couldn't barely turn my head properly left to right. And I'm living at Bondi Beach in Australia. It's a beautiful part of Australia. And they're setting up this fun run, 14 kilometers. I don't know how much in miles, maybe 10 miles or something. Anyway, people dress up in funny suits and stuff. It's not a real run, but it's a long enough run. And I was like, you know what? Yeah, I just had the operation 3 weeks ago, but I'm running. I'm not trained for it. I know. Yes, 2 years I did run for it. And yes, I did in 65 minutes. How good. But now I'm going to run this race. I go to my doc. I go, mate, like Stephen Chen. I go, mate, I'm going to run this race. He goes, no, you're not. You just had a part of the operation where he controls your movement. You can get injured, Chris. I go, yeah, but is it fatal? He goes, well, it's not fatal. I'm running. So I went for a run. I got interviewed by the media there. They all thought it was fascinating. It's weird. I know. So I ran, and that's the first experience that represented this point. I ran the race in 58 minutes and 22 seconds, breaking my personal best of 65 minutes with no training, all the excuses in the world, couldn't turn my head. I ran within the first 1,000 people. And that run also transformed me to, again, this notion of we cut ourselves so short before we've even begun something. The direction. Give me a clicker, bloody. Anyway. So I'm not going to have time to mention this point, but I'm going to move on. Here they are. Pretty much here's 13 years of my life. Here's 17 years of my life. How amazing is it to be, often doubtful to often confident, often disheartened to often inspired, often running away from all problems to often taking life on. I mean, if there's anything with VHL, take it on. I'm all in on activities. I believe in myself. Wow, how powerful are we when we believe in ourselves? It's incredible. And, I'm creative now. I love renovating and property, anyway, all this stuff. And so, living life here has been so much more rewarding. I've been so much more productive. I want to make my life matter and count in some way. And I was not able to achieve that in this area. I certainly was here. I now have 91 staff helping me manage 800 staff for our clients. And I'm looking to start a business in America to do the same service. So I'm excited. I'm always excited now. Anyway. All right, live like it's your last year alive with 6 minutes to go. This is what I do every year. I get my phone, I review the year that was. This is an important step because I want to know, did I live in 2022 a deliberate life? And how much of that life in 2022 did I actually, when I look at my photos and get remembered of certain things, did I actually design, consciously go after that, to seek that out, to achieve that? Did I actually achieve it? First, I recognize how much of a year did I live deliberately? And then I would get certain images because, no one knows the future. And we don't know what we might want sometimes. And so this exercise is a journey of discovering what really interests us, what moves us, what encourages us to do something. So I would get images to ask those questions. What if thoughts? I would evaluate those desires, whatever it is, a car, who I want to be as a person, the kind of contributions I want to make, and so forth. I then get an image to represent this goal because our minds are so visual, and we want to be reminded of our goals, especially if we have this life theory of living as if it's your last year alive every year, and to live deliberately and intentionally. That has been incredibly powerful for me. I've accomplished dream after dream. It's been amazing, just this simple little formula. I won't go into it too much more. That's an example of a little simple pros and cons of a Tesla. It's a simple philosophy. I ended up getting one because, but not for my wife. I got one for me. Because I'm in LA for 3 weeks, everyone's got one in Uber. I'm like, oh, this is actually a good car. Anyway. So this is, just listen, this little simple thing. The other thing I noticed going for it in a big way was I let go of the results. The outcomes didn't matter. What mattered was my energy, my effort, and what I bring to the table. That was more important. And teeny tiny steps, guys. Just schedule it in. Make little steps. Don't worry about it. Make little consistent steps. It's shocking how much we can accomplish our dreams. I've done them over and over. And then when I learned how to walk, and it took me 8 months, somebody had to strap me and flip my leg like a like a walking stick, And I saw the progress, and I had such fatigue that after being in bed for 3 months, that I would wake up at 7. I'll be out by 2, and I had such limited energy. And so I was shocked that I could rebuild my life with such limited energy by taking such little small steps forward. Hey, I've got the direction going the right way. Anyway, achieve deep satisfaction in life. Really is all about purpose. With me, having no sense of purpose in my life was, It was really unfulfilling. I kept accomplishing. I started a business. I was successful, but I was bored. I didn't like it. I killed the business. I sabotaged it, really. So I kept accomplishing things that I wasn't satisfied in. The purpose was missing, and the meaning behind what I'm trying to achieve was missing. So my philosophy here to my fellow VHL people, our goals, our secret desires, our goals are no good in the grave. We have our time. If we don't start doing it now, when will we? And if we're all going, even those without VHL, we're all going. So why do we settle for the status quo? Why do we settle to what's already preconceived notions of our time? Why? Why not dream? And you can't imagine a new future if you're always dragging the past of pain with you. You got to let go of the past. You got to let it go. You got no idea how much limited energy and brain pattern activity is going on. And so if we are carrying a lot of that stuff there, it's affecting our ability to dream and create and move forward in a new direction. Build your awareness to the things you enjoy, as I said, and understand your values. What's funny while writing this book, I spent 5 years writing this book, is that we found my values from a long time ago. So 25 years for the younger people here. Once you really understand your values, they don't change. So it's amazing. Understand your values. They're great clues on how you should be living your life. Living for clear purpose. I'll move on with a few minutes to go. It's so liberating. Thank you very much. Flourish through adversity is what I wanted to cover. This is the most interesting one. Accept the reality. You know, even if it's accepted as your responsibility, even if it's not, doesn't matter. Just accept it. It's just an empowering feeling. It's also the hardest thing to do when bouncing back from adversity. So when I had my brain operation, my second brain operation, where 2 lesions were right in the middle. One of them unfortunately burst, so it became a bloody affair. And then the doctor still went and tried on the other one, on the left hemisphere. So we got 2 lesions out. But when I woke up, I thought I'll be better off being dead than carrying on with this kind of level of adversity. Half my body didn't work, completely deaf. The list went on. It took me, I was acting like a boss. I was at home going, no, I don't want to, let's change it. And my wife's like, listening to me talking. She goes, it's already done. It's done. You can't change it anymore. It's done. It's happened. Because I was obsessing before that moment. I was obsessing with the list of my adversities. The moment I accepted the realities of what has just happened to me, because I'm bedbound, yeah? I couldn't move. I was in bed for 3 months. And that's a whole other story as well. But I finally shifted my focus. And that was an incredible thing. So when these adversities happen in our lives, as they do for VHL, let's take some time out. My first brain operation, I took 1 year off. Most of the things that happen to us and we need to bounce back in our lives happen unconsciously. Like all those changes happen to us. And it's only our consciousness with enough healing can come to awareness of the changes that have been happened and formed in us. So give it that time to heal. Don't just move on. Settled in that hardship sometimes is good for us. This is how I managed to pick up my life and bounce back. It was shifting my focus to what I can control. Everything else didn't matter. This hereditary tumors popping up everywhere, don't matter. Nothing matters. It only matters what I can control. What could I do about it? Because everything else is just a waste of energy. That's what saw me get so far. And this one was fascinating. Actively maintain hope. So after my brain operation, 6 lesions, solid lesions, grew in my remaining 80% kidney. Now it's a half kidney. 6 just exploded. They just took off. So being in bed, who would have thought it's so dangerous? and so lying there, I just had this 8 months of rehabilitation, all this stuff to learn how to talk and walk and move the hand. And then the doctors are telling me, listen, Chris, we don't know if your kidney is going to survive this operation. You might wake up on dialysis. And all these scenarios. They were so nasty. And listening to these scenarios, and I realized, well, no one knows the future. I don't have to accept this. I've had enough of accepting these diagnoses. What if I dare hope that the best is yet to come? Huh? In that moment of my darkest days, wow. You know what happened that time? The operation happened. There's a whole other story there. But from that moment, I did start an incredible journey. I went from a $4 million, $60 million. I went from a small bit to a job. It all happened. All because I dared hope. So always don't underestimate. This is a lot of power. Hope is a lot of power. I don't think I've got time to talk about brain patterns, especially in Stanford and all this medical stuff. But I'll be happy to share it because all those neurological stuff that I learned, I've transformed my mind. I've got staff that have been trying these neurological things that I've learned on neuroplasticity, which is really good fun. So I'll leave you guys with the last slide. Summary. If there's anything that you take away from this, please take this slide. This is it. Living to your full potential. It's about self-empowerment and breaking through your status quo. Live like it's your last year. It's about living a life that's deliberate. Achieve deep satisfaction. It's living with a clear purpose and committing to a long-term commitments to things. I didn't mention, but every time I have operations, I bargain with the doctors. I make pledges. That's how I started my first business. I said, you know what, doc, give me 10 years of my kidney life with my original kidney, and I'll employ thousands. That's how I started my staffing business. So I've employed 8,000 since. Then the second time with the kidney operation, I said, doc, give me another 10 years, and I'll inspire millions. And so the book happened. Anyway, so here we go. And now that journey is about to commence. I haven't launched yet, but I'm excited. Some publisher in Beverly Hills. Anyway. Working with me. How interesting. Anyway, flourish through adversity, focus on what you control, and form new thinking patterns. Patterns is all about stopping on autopilot. Challenge yourself in the moment. So if there's a negative thought that comes up, just take it on. You've got to first be aware that it's happening, that you're playing this role, and then note it down. And the next time, don't let it happen on your clock. Your patterns don't rule you. You're not your brain patterns. Thank you very much, everyone. Awesome. Thank you. Super grateful. Thank you, guys. Questions? Are we going to have lunch?
You're the only thing between lunch.
Yeah, there we go. I'm hampering lunch. Any questions, guys? Of course. Yeah. It's being published towards the end of November, I think. Yeah, it'll be on Amazon as well. Yeah. Sorry? I had a last slide. This is the last slide. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. I do have one more slide, guys. Email me. I'll give you a free copy. My publisher said, "No, let's do a sign-up thing. We'll give him a gift." I go, no. I want to give him a gift. I want to give everyone here who's got VHL, who wants a copy of the book, my book. I'll post you a hard copy, okay? Done. I can have all the questions in the world with lunch. I really feel guilty. Everyone's looking at me going, "I wouldn't have lunch." No. Pleasure, guys. Okay. Any more other questions? I got one more. No? Good. We'll have lunch.
Okay. Okay, thanks everybody. We're gonna break for lunch. The lunch is outside on the tables. They're all labeled in terms of there's, I don't know, about 12 different types of box lunches. And there's some drinks out there too. We're gonna start back in here at 1 o'clock for the afternoon session. Thank you.